Hey guys,
I'm Deera.
And I'm Ty.
And welcome to the Girls So Anyways podcast. So today, I got a topic for y'all. I just want to know, I got a question for our viewers. Why y'all keep having babies by men y'all not married to? Why? Why, Ty? Why they doing it?
And multiple babies at that.
Multiple babies by multiple men. What are y'all doing? Women, listen up, right? I'm not a mother, and I understand that things happen.
Yeah.
You know, stuff happens. But when a man shows you the first time who he is, and that he wouldn't be a good father, or a good partner, or he'd have been with you 10 years and you'd have popped a baby out and you ain't got no ring, why have another one? Or why have one to begin with? If I've been with somebody for 10 years, even 4 years is
That's
pushing
too long.
I need to know, I need some type of commitment.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
5 years and still no type of commitment, no timeline on, hey,
what's the next move for
what's next for us? Are we gonna get married? And then you have a baby. Talk to me.
I feel like a lot of times women may get pregnant and have babies by multiple men, or with the same man, with no ring, is because a lot of times they're comfortable. They don't see themselves getting out of this situation, so they're just gonna easily pop out more kids over and over.
Shout out to Trader Joe's.
Right.
Sponsor.
Shout out to that. Even though they know, if I have another baby, this is not gonna make my situation any better.
Right.
More than likely, another baby's gonna make it worse. Because you have more expenses, you're taking care of the baby, you have to find more childcare. Women, we know a lot of times when a man isn't gonna meet our standard.
Right.
But we continue to allow ourselves...
ignoring them red flags like we talked about in our last episode.
Right. Which sucks. But at the end of the day, we know when someone isn't for us.
Exactly.
But not acknowledging that, it's going to backfire on us. Because 9 times out of 10, women are the ones who take care of the kid full time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there isn't men who aren't stay-at-home fathers or full-time providers for their kids. We're not bashing women or men here. We're just simply trying to figure out why is it that you would have a baby by this person you done bashed on Facebook, bashed on Instagram, said the terrible things about him, said you're never getting back with him, he done did all this stuff to you, he done cheated on you, whatever the case may be, and then you turn right around and have another baby by him.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
It just bubbles my mind.
Yeah. It's not logical.
It
doesn't add up.
And okay, cool. So you got pregnant and you don't believe in abortion. That's fine. But then don't get right back on Facebook or right back on these social medias and start bashing this man because you knew who he was before you had the baby.
Exactly. Well, you knew with your first baby. You probably knew before you had that baby.
She knew.
But I would say sometimes I've heard that some men do change after you have your baby. I don't know how true that is, but...
I don't know. I ain't got no kids.
I mean, I didn't experience that, so it's I can't speak about what...
something you haven't experienced.
I haven't experienced.
Same.
But it does... I can see that as being true.
And it's the same thing with women. Men, why are you having babies by women that you know is batshit crazy? You know she's not going to be a good mother to you, a good co-parent if you guys aren't together. You know that it's going to be problems. So why even why not wrap your shit up and make sure that you're being safe? Why have a baby by a crazy person?
For vagina. I ain't want to say the P word.
Poo-poo. Call it the poo-poo.
It's for the pom-pom. Pound town.
Pound town. Just left pound town. Y'all got to stop getting lost in the sauce and start thinking with this head, not that head. Because you guys are putting yourself in lifelong commitments with women that you don't even see yourself with for more than 2 months. Let's be real.
I agree. And it's once you're stuck, you're hard to get unstuck because a kid, y'all have to talk to each other. It's not no thing where you can just do a drop off at this time.
Pick up.
You have to
it doesn't
communicate with the person.
That never works.
Yeah.
My parents tried to do that stupid-ish, and it never worked because guess what? I broke my arm. My brother broke his arm. Something happens, you have to be there for your kid. You have to call that person. So why even put yourself in a lifelong commitment with someone that you know you can't see yourself with for longer than 2 years? I know when I met my man, that's going to be my husband, period. But have I had a baby yet? No. You know why? Because we're not married yet. And I want to take my time. I want to make sure that when we have a baby, we're ready financially, physically, emotionally, mentally. Having a baby
is
a full-time job.
Yeah, I agree.
For not only mom, but also for dad. It's a lot of things change. You have to make a lot of sacrifices when you have kids. So that just brings me back. It's a full circle moment. Like, why would you even put yourself in that predicament?
Because you're not thinking.
I just can't understand it. Like, I have dated in the past, and when I've dated, I've never seen myself wanting to have kids by any of the guys I dated, except one. And God showed me right away
that he was not it.
He's not it. He was not the father of my children. And we weren't married. We weren't doing any of that yet. And God showed me. And once he showed me, I never looked back. But it's like girls will literally ignore the red flags. Mm-hmm. Ignore the red flags. Same for men. Ignore the red flags with the women. And have unprotected sex or have protected sex, make that mistake, and still be like, oh, I'm going to keep it.
A lot of times some women just settle for whatever. And
yeah, that's true.
It may be their standards. It may be their upbringing. Mm-hmm. If you grew up and your mom never had a good job, she got multiple baby daddies, multiple kids, that's all you know. So sometimes, like, unless you, like, put yourself outside of that situation or predicament, it can be hard to see better for yourself. That's true. A lot of times, like, to us, like, damn, like, they're not thinking logically. But for some people, that's their world that they grew up in. So
I can agree. But I'm also a firm believer that you can break generational curses. Yeah. I'm not going for that because guess what? Both of my parents grew up dirt poor, was, both came from mothers that have multiple baby daddies, multiple kids. Like, they grew up rough in the hood. Mm-hmm. But guess what? They broke that curse, those generational curses with me and my siblings. Mm-hmm. All of us are educated. We all grew up in the suburbs. None of us have kids. Like, all four of us still don't have kids. And my sister and brother are, 5-6 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So all of us want to be married and want stability before kids. So I want to say, okay, I understand that, but also, because it's all about, and especially in this day and age where it's like, there's so much technology around us that can help you to understand, like, you know what?
But it also comes back to laziness. Because some people, like, they're comfortable being on food stamps and Section A, and some people are, like, living in that. They're like, I don't have to pay for anything. They're fine struggling. Baby. But it's hard to get them out of there.
Couldn't be me. Listen, I like the finer things in life.
I do too.
I like traveling. I like good food. I like my freedom. Because when you have a baby, you get way less freedom. Like, Ty, you're a mom.
Yeah, I was just going to speak on it.
You're a mom. Tell us your experience with having a baby.
So I would say, I did have a baby early in my 20s. It changes your whole trajectory of a lot of things.
Yes.
Like when you wake up, appointments, your schooling, trying to travel abroad, college, like all of that impacts. Having a baby does, impact your life. Right now I'm in like my mid-career, as you would say, or most people call it mid-level, mid-career. I'm not like a local statistic person who dropped out of school or, dropped out of college because I had a baby. I didn't make any excuses for myself because I went back to school. I went to go finish my master's degree, and everything that literally I said I was going to do, I was going to do it. And I feel like for me is because I have a lot of support from my family.
Yes.
And not everybody has that. And not everybody is grateful to have that. Mm-hmm. But having a baby does change a lot. It changes your relationships with other people. Also changes who you can date because some people
don't only date. Yeah,
some
kids.
People only gonna date people who don't have a baby.
I ain't gonna lie, that would be me.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why you gotta find people who work for you. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky enough to have somebody who
works for you.
Who wants me and wants my child and wants to, us to be around.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a very beautiful thing.
But I do agree that, and see, with me right now, I'm not gonna have another baby until I'm married. And I made a promise to myself. Like, of course, the guy that I'm with is amazing, but I want to be able to get to the next level. Career-wise, I feel like no matter at what point in life, you're never gonna be too ready to have a baby. Yeah. Too late, too early. It's never like a right time because
that's true.
You always gonna want to do something else before you have a baby.
That's true.
just gotta have it. That's how I see it. But I do, like, for my next baby, I do want to be married and, you know, have a home, because that's what I'm built towards right now, is being able to have, like, a stable place
to
I do have an apartment.
But you want your own.
Yeah, I want my own space or whatever.
Boom, I have no kids, but I am engaged to be married. And I have always, whenever I pictured having a family, it was always with my husband. It was never like, oh, I'm gonna have a baby with my boyfriend at the time. And give it, stuff happens. Yeah. Like, I'm sure you weren't, you know, planning to have Bree when you had her. It just kind of happened. Stuff happens. I get that. But you haven't popped out any other babies since then. You like, look, I know that I want more. Yes. And some people just don't want more. Like, some people don't want to be married. That's not their end goal. Yeah. Some people are okay with just having a baby by somebody and that and the other. But me personally, I just couldn't see myself making a lifelong commitment to another person. A child is a commitment to that person. To deal with. Unless that person dead, it's theirs. It's half of their baby.
So you have to be able to communicate with them, talk to them about any issues with your kid.
Like,
see who's at their house, a commitment. See who they're spending time with. Like, it's a lot that goes behind the scenes with having a child. Like, you're not just gonna drop your kid off at somebody's house and be like,
keep it pushing.
Yeah, you're gonna ask, like, who's gonna be here, like, what are you guys doing? Just make sure that your child's gonna be safe, because there's so much that goes on. You just want to make sure that everything's up to par to your life.
And babies are, like, kids in general are such a big commitment to another person, but also to that kid. Like, you have to commit that you're going to be a good parent. And my biggest fear is that when I become a parent one day, I'm not going to be ready, and then I'm going to be a terrible mother. So I purposely have, like, not ever, you know, put myself in a predicament where I could be pregnant by somebody until I'm 100% ready. Like, we're both ready, because that's also what happens, right? Yeah. Women, people have sex, sometimes protected, sometimes unprotected. The woman gets pregnant, she decides she wants the baby. I want to keep my baby. But a man might not want it. I personally do believe that it's a woman's choice, but I also feel like you should be heavily considering how the father feels. Because also, if you force them into being a father and they're not ready, it can backfire.
I agree. And also how it may impact the relationship between the child
and their dad.
Yeah, and their dad, because you don't want to raise a child without a father.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A father is a key component in anybody's. I feel like men or women, like, having a father makes a big difference in your life.
I 100% agree. I had my father, but not completely. So it was difficult. Like, I had to relearn him as an adult versus when I was a kid, because of him being incarcerated. And it definitely was hard. Like, I did not know who he was, and he didn't know who I was as an adult. In his eyes, he's looking at me as, you know, his baby girl, because when he went in, I was like 7. When he came out, I'm 23. So it's a big, you know what I mean? So I 100% agree. And I feel like forcing a man into fatherhood when he's not ready can be very detrimental to his mental health as well.
Because you're basically dealing with someone who you didn't want to be here in the first place. Right. And sometimes women can be spiteful, and they can tell their kids, like, damn, your dad didn't want you. Yeah, your dad did not want you. And some kids may grow some form of resentment from their dad because of that. I was fortunate enough to, you know, have my dad from the beginning, and it has definitely shaped me in ways I couldn't imagine. Yeah. Whether that's, you know, parenting, whether that's setting standards for myself in life, like discovering myself as a woman. Yes. It is so much that I feel like it would be very hard for me if I did not have my dad in my life.
Do you feel like having your dad from day one has shaped you into realizing what kind of man you want as a partner?
Yes. So I feel like when it came to my dad, he was able to provide me with, like, flowers, show me what showering is, show me what love is. Yes. And as I got older, I never was the type to want to look for love in men. So I never was a seeker, like, you know, trying to date multiple men, you know, just because, like, I need to talk to someone on the phone or have someone cuddle with me type thing, because my dad was always in my life. It was just, I don't know, and it's crazy.
That's so beautiful.
It was, and it's crazy because when I used to be in high school, school and middle school, it used to be like so many girls were like, I hate my dad. And I'm like, I can't relate.
Can't relate.
Literally can't relate because my dad, he was like amazing. There for me, like for my first car, like all kinds of stuff.
So cute.
Yes.
I, on the other hand, again, I told you guys, my father was incarcerated for a number of years throughout my childhood, on and off. So I do think that him not being as present physically and emotionally as I probably needed did shape me a little bit when it comes to men. It made me real hard. Like, I'm hard. And I had to soften up. Like, I'm learning to step into my more feminine era and be a little bit more submissive to my partner because I didn't experience everything that you did growing up. But I definitely would not ever be the type of woman that would, even with all of that, even like with me not having my dad physically there and mentally there all the time, it still did not make me want to have multiple babies by multiple men.
I agree.
I can never think of a time when I've been like, oh, I'm about to pop out a baby because he's good looking and his genes is good and our baby would be cute. Like, I could never.
But I do see some women that fiend for love a lot, like who are missing a father.
Yes.
So they like men hop into a lot of relationships,
or they just are overbearing.
Yeah.
Like they're so fixated on marriage and baby that they're just men. They're like they can't function without being in a relationship or without like seeking a man. And in my opinion, God says that a man is supposed to seek his wife, not the other way around. So I've never been like the type to seek a man. I've always kind of let them come to me.
Yeah, I agree.
But there is women that are like that seek a husband. So they're constantly on the lookout for like this ideal man, this perfect man, but he don't exist. Yeah. Because you're not supposed to be seeking him, baby. You're supposed to let him come to you. But girl, that's a whole nother conversation for another podcast episode. But yeah, just ladies, please hear me out, right? Stop getting pregnant for these men that don't deserve you. Stop trying to trap these men that you know ain't no good, but you think a baby's going to change it. Because guess what? Newsflash, it's not.
Right. Trapping a man is gonna make your situation like
20 times worse. Take it from history. History always repeats itself. Look at every woman in history who done tried to trap a man into being with them forever, and it never worked out.
Even with celebrities, like we see it all the time. Women try to trap men just because they're a millionaire, and you want like your baby to be so-called famous. It's crazy.
Child.
Just for the money? Is it that deep?
It is. It'd be that deep for people. Like Tristan Thompson, Khloe Kardashian's baby daddy. He got his personal trainer pregnant. He told her, I literally don't want to be with you. I don't want this baby aborted. She told him, no, I'm keeping it. And had a baby by him. That's a few years young, like a year or so younger, or a few months older than his new baby he just had with Khloe. What? Girl, embarrassing. Just embarrassing.
That is wild.
That's so embarrassing. Like,
you know why she did it? It's because of the money.
The money.
Like,
she literally said, she told him, pay me X amount of money and I'll abort it, and then she didn't do it.
So he gave her the money.
He gave her the money. She never aborted the baby. Now the baby's here, and now him and Khloe is broken up. But he's also a serial cheater and a dog. So, you know, he deserves everything that's coming to him. But he deserves to be miserable for the rest of his life with this woman, because if you really loved Khloe, you wouldn't be cheating on her and having babies on her.
Outside of your relationship.
And being public about it, too. Like, you're publicly cheating on this girl with your trainer. Like, just embarrassing. Men are so embarrassing. Jesus.
But I do feel for the woman. It's like, why would you do that?
Because she's money hungry.
I see.
She's money hungry, and she was like DMing Khloe. But you don't remember? This was like a few years ago, maybe like a year or two, during the pandemic. She was like posting their DMs all over Instagram and like calling her out and like saying that Tristan Thompson was ignoring them, that he's never seen the baby, he just sends money. But that's what you wanted. What did you think was going to happen? This man straight up told you, I don't want this baby with you. I don't want to be with you. I don't want you. I want Khloe.
And you forced him.
And you forced him into fatherhood.
But at the same time, it's both their fault. It's his fault for doing it, and it's her fault for trying to trap him. But I can see why a woman want to trap you. If you a whole millionaire, let me get the money. But at the same time, no, because My child's gonna grow up with no father,
and now that baby's gonna suffer.
Yes,
girl,
because you are money hungry.
That's heartbreaking. Like, but that's the thing. These girls be trapping these dudes, and these dudes be seeing these girls looking good on Instagram and thinking down with this head, not this head, and cheating on their beautiful girlfriends or wives or people who holding them down. And then end up with a girl that's pregnant and want to tell her to abort it and yada, yada, yada.
It's too late.
But she wasn't thinking about that when you was cheating.
It's too late.
You was thinking about how you wanted to do what you wanted to do. So deal with the consequences, which is she could potentially trap you.
The mistake that already happened.
The mistake. What's done is done.
Right.
Can't go back from it. Y'all, tell me what you guys think in the comments. I want to know. Here's the question. Is it wrong for a man to ask a woman to abort her baby because he doesn't want to be a father, even though he willingly and consensually had sex with her? Answer that question.
It's two sides, though.
Answer that question. What's the other side?
Because I feel like, at the end of the day, it is a woman's body, but you have to respect the fact that he already said he didn't want to be there.
Yeah. Because I know it's really hard, too, because as a woman, it's my body. I should be able to decide. But also, as a woman, I should be conscious of who I'm having sex with. Like, I shouldn't be out here just messing with dudes that I know are not ready to be fathers. Exactly. That's where the women mess up at. You gotta stop listening to that talk just because he's talking all of this and really look at his actions
and see what type of person he
is. Exactly. And that's where women be messing up at, because these girls be seeing all this money and this lifestyle. But money and lifestyle is one thing. Being a father and being present in your kid's life is a whole nother thing. Whole nother thing. I'm not doing that for nobody.
Because you can show a flashy lifestyle and don't have nothing for real. Like, y'all done seen it.
Okay, tied with the bars or the facts.
People be on Instagram all the time, out on trips, but living in an apartment. You know, not saying that you can't be on trips and be in an apartment, but saying, like, you really don't have nothing. Yeah. You flashing all these chains and all this expensive stuff,
and
but you're not really not having nothing. So
rented. It be rented. Chains be rented. Jewelry be fake. Not that any of those things matter, but if you're flashing that lifestyle, like the athlete rapper lifestyle, or the big baller lifestyle, of course you're gonna attract a certain standard of woman.
Women who want you for your money. Yeah.
That brings me to a slightly off topic, but we're gonna wrap it up after this question. What's your take on this Sukihana and YK Osiris topic?
So I would say this is kind of controversial. Suki herself, she portrays herself, I'm not gonna lie, a low-class woman.
Ratchet.
Low-class woman.
Low ratchet.
That's what she's gonna attract in a man. She gonna attract a man who just want to sleep with her. And a lot of times, like, for example, with the Drewski video, like when she was on stage. Yes, so let me tell y'all. So basically, Drewski and Suki, they were on stage. And Suki's acting like she's going to lick his behind. Drewski's looking uncomfortable but smiling at the same time.
Because he's in front of thousands of people.
Yes, in a big
comedian.
Crowd. Yeah. Literally in a big crowd in front of people. And you can tell he's a little uncomfortable, but he's going with it because they're on a stage.
Right.
But at the same time, that's wrong. So for her to do that, she didn't take any backlash from doing that to him. Right. But when something is flipped to a woman, why is the man wrong when that's the kind of person that she portrays?
Let me touch on this, sis. Let me get her. Because I've been waiting. I have been waiting for us to film this episode. Because I have some things to say. I got some things to say. Listen up. First of all, Suki portraying her personality that she portrays as like this sex fiend, and she always wanna fuck, and she's ratchet, she wants twerk, she's this, that, the other, always like licking her tongue out, all of that. It's a personality. It's something to get people to watch her so that she can make some money off of it. That's fine. We get that. But when you tell a man, when you look a man in his eyes and you tell him, I'll come over there and you right now, and then 2 seconds later, when he's approaching you on that energy, and then you want to act like you uncomfortable or like he's sexually assaulting you or this, that, or the other, after you just told this man you want to F him in another clip,
you can't get mad.
Like, what are you talking about? opened the door when you literally told him you want to have sex with him. That's the most intimate thing you can do with a person. So him kissing you isn't too off grid, girl. It ain't too off grid.
And it's crazy because I didn't even see that part. I only saw the part when he was like all in her ear or whatever.
Yeah, it was a clip. It's a clip. You gotta look on YouTube or something, but it's a clip. Right before he did that, it's a clip that's showing them like talking, and she's like yelling at him from the table, saying like sexual things to him, like I'll come over there and turn you out. I'll F you right now, like yada yada yada. And I know she's a personality. When it's the camera on, you have to perform. But you're opening a door. You're opening a connection to him thinking that you want him sexually. So him going to kiss you and trying to like be sexual back to you wasn't so far off base, in my opinion. And on top of that, a couple weeks before that, remember she was all on social media, you know, Dr. Omar, whatever, telling him that she want to F him. What? And like asking if he's ready and like all of it, just like super weird energy. And I know, again, sex sells. We already know. Always. But it's like you attract the type of person you are. She's on OnlyFans. She's showing her body. But then you say you're a healed and spiritual woman and you want to be married and this, that, and the other. In my opinion, no woman who wants to be married is flashing their ass and titties all over Instagram.
They're not on OnlyFans. The situation happened.
Right. And then she did an interview today. She did an interview today, actually, with somebody. And she was talking about the situation. And she was basically saying that she was just trying to keep it professional. She was in a professional setting in a male-dominated industry. She's talking about like the TV industry. And she didn't want to mess this opportunity up for herself. But literally the clip before he kissed her, she was literally sitting at the table. He's standing over there. She's yelling to him that she gonna come and take him down. She'll turn his young ass out. Like all this crazy stuff. So how can you say you want to be professional, you want to be in a professional setting, and this is a big opportunity and this is a male-dominated industry? All of that went out the door when the clip showed before that you was like giving him the I want to fuck you type of vibes. That's wild. Like you can't do that and then think that
it's like she want to flip the script.
Literally, that is literally flipping the script. That's like, literally flipping the script.
I don't agree with Suki. I don't at all levels. I do not agree with her. She's very like I feel like she degraded herself as a woman.
Yes,
like,
when she was letting what's his name, NLE Choppa walk her on a leash with Sexy Red, just doing stupid shit. Like they're two in the same. They're two in the same. I definitely can see why they're friends.
And it's like she wants. Yes, you do want to be in the limelight, but you're gonna be in the limelight for the wrong bad reasons or wrong reasons. Like
she's not in the limelight for none of her music. Yeah. She's in the limelight because sex is a sexy
her sexual vulnerability.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm also a firm believer that a woman should be able to be who she is unapologetically. But I'm okay with who she is. Like she is who she is. That is what it is. But don't be all like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed and I'm being sexually harassed and I'm embarrassed, and all on Instagram and Twitter trying to make this a thing when you told that young man, you told this man in the clip right before he tried to come over there and kiss you, I'll come over there and turn you out. You was making sexual advances at him. That's a man. Men think off of what you're saying to them in that second.
And they're not approach it like
men, that's how a man is. Not that that's okay, but he wasn't right for, acting on it. He should have done that privately. If he was going to try to talk to her, he should have been like, so what's up? Like, da-da-da-da-da. Not publicly in front of all these cameras, you trying to stick your tongue down her throat. Like, that's insane. But as a woman, if I'm sending my husband some spicy text messages and, he upstairs, guess what? He see them spicy text messages, he gonna bring his ass downstairs and want to take in on the action.
I agree. A man gonna take what's given, and Suki was giving sexual vulnerability, and that's what she got. So it's like, because in the beginning, when the situation first happened, I was mad at him because I did not see that first clip of her doing it.
Yeah. It was just out of control. I don't know, y'all. What y'all think? Let us know. Comment. Hit us up on Instagram. Let us know what you guys think about this, because I, for one, think that women should not portray themselves in a certain light if they don't want to attract that certain type of man. Just like men shouldn't portray themselves as they got all these monies and all this money and this, you know, this motion or whatever, because they're gonna attract a woman who only want them for their money or their motion.
I agree.
It's one and the same. What do you guys think? Let us know.
I agree. Do you guys feel like freakiness equates to sexual vulnerability?
Yes.
For men and women.
Let us know in the comments. As always, we love you guys.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow. Peace.